Private and religious schools must now meet the state's minimum education standards in step with their public school counterparts. The most impacted, ultra-Orthodox Jewish schools.
Yeah, Pick 7's Kirsten Cole. She's following this very closely. Live from Williamsburg, Brooklyn to explain. Kirsten.
Yeah, good morning to you, Dan and Hazel. And at issue is many of these schools get a lot of taxpayer money, but they're not held to the same standards. And now former students, parents of those students have come forward criticizing and saying these students aren't getting the very most basic in education, in math skills, in language arts skills, and in science. But they have been flooding lawmakers in protest, sending tens of thousands of letters in protest, even protesting outside of the state capitol with signs saying, we'd rather go to jail than have to exist by these rules. And the rules coming from the Board of Regents. These yeshivas are meant to give their students both a religious and a secular education. But critics have charged that little is being learned with the basics, all the while they are collecting taxpayer money. The Board of Regents voting these schools must show that they are meeting these basic standards and that the instruction must be delivered in English. The New York Times reporting that more than 100 boys-only schools run by the Hasidic Jewish community have taken in more than $1 billion in taxpayer funding in recent years, but that they have failed generations of students by not giving them those most basic portions of the education. One member of the Jewish community vowing that they will be fighting these new rules.
They're not saying that we cannot teach our religious studies, but they are saying that in terms of the amount of time budgeted for children, you're obligated to use X amount of time for whatever we have, and what's left over, you can use it for religious studies. We'll take it to court. We're not going to do it.
And here's the part that hasn't been spelled out. How is this going to happen? How are these standards going to be measured? We do know that local districts, including here in New York City, the Department of Education is going to have to police these schools. It's not certain what that's going to look like or what it's going to cost to do that part of it as well.